discussion is I was at a meeting a couple of weeks ago and did the same sort of surveying that you did, where would you use your phone to make payments at a physical point of sale? And this was a pretty sophisticated group, diverse ages, but very savvy from a payments technology and mobile perspective. And very few people raised their hand. And I was shocked. I was like, no, come on, you guys work in this space. What's the deal? And people, at least right now, I think can get past it's secure. I'm not worried about that. I just don't see the value yet. And, you know, my phone is my phone, and I love my phone, and I like to play games, and I do the app thing, and I will use my phone as a computer to make purchases online. But it just doesn't feel right to do anything else just yet. And I think, you know, it's the value piece, it's convenience, but it's also, why is this better than pulling out my card, which works, and I know how to do that, and my phone is this other thing that I do lots of other things with, but I don't feel compelled to use it as a payment device just yet.
There's one use case where that's different. There's one use case where that's different. This is one I wish I had invested in, and that's when you're waiting for the check at the restaurant. And that is the one place where, you know, there's a company called Tapped Out in Austin where you've given, you know, you've actually given your credit card information at the bar and you're waiting to check out. And, you know, that is the one place where I think we're going to start to see some mobile payments. Wouldn't it be great to not have to wait for the check, you know, to actually be able to check out? That is one that will happen sooner rather than later.
So Alan brings a good point up, that creepiness factor. So that inner Luddite will come out of all of us that says, you know what, I don't like to be tracked, or I have some privacy technology, it freaks me out. Let's recall that in the late 90s, you know, we developed the e-commerce engines and the capabilities to do online, you know, sales and purchasing. And as such, the desktop, laptop device became a way to interact and understand you, the consumer, better. At first, we didn't know what it could do, and now it's become more commonplace to know that it tags you, it tracks you, it understands you, it puts profiling. I look at the mobile device actually as an enhancing capability for the brick and mortar store, a la Home Depot, to be able to provide that kind of capability without having to be always wired. That is to enhance that experience in store when I come to a store. What the difference here in the opportunity is the consumer can actually direct more information that is relevant or choose what they don't want to share. Personas, identities, that could be embedded in your electronic wallet, which is that device. And this is what's kind of neat, is I could have, by creating an identity ecosystem type element on my mobile device, more control of what I present out of my wallet to make my experience more unique. I call it the IPSI, which is that self-identity. For those who went to Catholic schools, Ipsady is that self-identity, good old Latin. So take the IPSI of you and say, you know what, I'm going to Home Depot. I want them to know that I am a homeowner versus, you know, a car nut. Okay, that's more relevant. Matter of fact, maybe I don't want them to know that I'm a homeowner today, I'm an apartment owner, whatever. I can present personalities or personas that make a unique experience. This gets over some of that creepiness factor because then I might have more control. Now, the part of this that might get challenging is we talked about the static security or information on a card versus the dynamic information on a device. The part of that could be compromised is if our policymakers, not regulators, policymakers in DC decide that even if I choose to allow myself to have some kind of degree of tracking, whether the PII is protected or not, we're not going to go there. It will compromise some of the abilities for us to actually make the dynamic information more secure, because it is geo, it's GPS, it's IP, it's use cases, it's keystroke dynamics, it's the type of utilization that comes into play. And if certain congressmen from Massachusetts have their way, we would never be able to tie that in. And so it's important that we, as an industry, take advantage of the disruption, but at the same time self-police.
Be careful what you say about
I'm referencing the individual that introduced legislation without a name.
We all know who that is.
Sure. Can I-
Yeah, sure.
So just before we move on. So the creepiness factor, the big brother factor is certainly there. I think the prevailing thought is that we allow the customer to operate. So rather than having multiple personalities on your phone, you'd essentially have something right at the beginning of the store where the customer would sort of tap their phone next to it to sort of say, okay, I'm here, I'm in a Home Depot. And the customer could choose not to when they come in if they didn't want to be, I don't want to use the word bombarded, but if they didn't want to be hit with offers, they just want to come in. So it's sort of a binary as opposed to a multiple personality. But you can choose to shop anonymously online today, or you can choose to log in and get hit with, well, based on your last purchase, this is an interesting thing. It's essentially taking those same sorts of experiences that you see online and taking, customers who bought this also bought this, customer who bought this, who are interested in that. I think if you're buying paint, it doesn't take a genius to prompt you to buy a paintbrush. The little minders in our organization know the sort of thing that we need to do there. Just from the, and I want to separate the dynamic information transaction time from the personally identifying information that we're going to use generally in terms of what will trigger the appropriate marketing activity. And again, guys, I'm not pointing at it being counter or picture of, cost per transaction. I'm not a marketer, and I don't pretend to understand the science that marketing is. But I recognize the value of being able to communicate a message to the appropriate person at the appropriate time, and having a channel that allows you to deliver that message directly to that person.
And I couldn't agree with Malcolm more. And I think that, like the Facebook generation, people get much more comfortable with the creepiness factor when they're getting value out of it. So the fact that Facebook can now recognize my picture without me tagging myself or without one of my friends tagging me is a clear example that, I'm actually okay with that, and it's not the end of the world, and I get value out of Facebook, which is why I check it 4 times a day. And I think that as you provide value to customers through the mobile device, they're going to be okay with knowing that you're in a Home Depot store. Hey, great, I am in a Home Depot store, and I want this, give me the best deal. Or not the best deal if the big box retailer doesn't want to give them the best deal, but maybe some information about what they could be doing, do-it-yourself tips, whatever. So I think that you'll see that trend start to emerge more and more and move into the payments and commerce space.
And I just want to say one quick thing. I agree with that. We're watching Facebook, carefully. They have incorporated Facebook payments. They have Marketplace on their, as one of their links. If you're on there, there's a lot of transactions. There are a lot of things going on Facebook. And it's contrary to some of the popular beliefs that it's just a Gen Y vehicle. It crosses all types of age groups and demographics. So they're experimenting, and all it takes is some sort of merger with the Facebook, with Google or Apple or something like that to leverage iTunes. We have to think, out of the box when we think about some of these initiatives. Yeah, some of these things, they might not happen, but we never thought that PayPal would be doing the things it's doing today. They're expanding to the point of sale. So, I guess I'm supposed to be the conservative when I think here in the group, but we really do think creatively and think lots about what could happen.